Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have a great show today. This is gonna be so great. But first, sharing is caring, folks. Please make sure anybody that comes in, go ahead, find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube, share it out. See, look, I got it going on my phone apocalypse there. After you've done your sharing, please feel free to come back, join us. I am Pickles Propotamus. I am here with my incredible co-star, MaryLynn Bass, and we have an incredible guest today, Miss Katie McVay, and I'm very excited for her. We're going to have an absolute blast. So they're burning my rock down. Hello, good sir. Yeah, let me bring up my chat.
Hello.
And yesterday was kind of a big day for me too. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Miss MaryLynn, what do you got going on today?
Other than work, pretty much just trying to make sure, that has to happen. Yep.
Work sucks.
It does. But hey, it pays the bills and it gets us to do what we got to do. So
That's right. Somebody's got to dance that pole.
Yep.
You know?
It's going to be you.
I've gotten pretty good at it. So
what do you know about our guest?
Well, we actually had time to talk before, and she's a producer and author and all kinds of stuff. And we made some good connections. So event coordinator and all that. So look forward to getting to know more.
Wow. That is awesome. And we had the chance to see her most recently. I have a dog here in my mouth. Weird. Actually, that's not
on the dogs.
Right. We got the chance to see you most recently at the Supernatural Soiree.
The Battleship, New Jersey.
The Battleship. That was a really it was a fun night. It was also a little frustrating, right? Because I was kind of hoping, I don't know about you, but I was kind of hoping they were going to let us like meander around the ship.
Well, I thought that was the whole thing of getting to do the soiree on the ship was doing an investigation. And then they decided that we were not allowed.
Katie, did they tell you that you were going to be able to drive it?
They did. And they reneged when they found out that I'm not a very good driver. So, no battleship driving for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, because
that's okay.
I had specifically made that request. I obviously was denied.
You were denied as well. I do have a reminder of that night, though, Mike. I don't know if you remember these bad boys. Do you remember these?
You left them on her table.
I did. I brought them home with me, and I said, the next time I see Mr. What are you going by today? Papa Populus, Pickles, Papa Tommen, whatever.
Yes.
Yes.
Pickles Propotamus.
Thank you. I'll never be able to repeat that again. So,
Sarah, hello. Annie.
So maybe I'll wear these through the broadcast just to, keep things light and funny and,
Don't blame it on me. Blame it on the alcohol. They were so we got.
Yeah, that was a fun event.
It was very fun. Yes.
Yeah, that was great.
And we did something not naughty. We smuggled in our own Fireball, like 20 bottles of.
So we were at the table, but drinks.
Did not know that. I was behind the table the whole time and missed that. Is that why your pants ripped? You had a little bit too much. You had a malfunction of your pants.
Unfortunately, they actually ripped prior.
Okay.
And then we kind of like sewed it up a little bit. We like clamped it up, and then we go. It stays kind of like together up until. I think we get on board and like I just make like one like movement like this, and that's it. The whole thing everything gave out.
Everything gave out. So you were talking
is walking behind him. You can see everybody looking down. It looked like he has a ball sack hanging out his butt.
Oh, good Lord. What a bad look for you, man. Not a good look.
I was fine with it.
It was a conversation starter. I mean,
that's true. You are a man who's not afraid to be embarrassed. So, that's cool.
That is true. So how did you do?
Let me take these off because I feel silly.
Philly wonderfully so.
They were cute.
Thank you. They glow in the dark.
I see that.
And he said,
Yeah.
I knew you guys looked wasted. We were.
Right.
Yeah. Hi, everybody in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much. Hello.
Greg Ogle's in the chat. He will be, that episode is not out yet, but will be out soon. But we did just have episode 2 of Pair with the Normal got released, which is awesome. So in honor of the release of our second episode, and of course, seeing our wonderful Miss Katie McVay, folks, today I am doing my Crown Apple Peach. What do you have, Katie?
I have a history lesson behind it, but it is Yingling's Hershey Chocolate Porter.
Ooh.
Okay, well, I want to hear this history lesson here in just a second.
Yes.
So I am actually doing mango peach with tequila.
Oh.
Whoa. You're gonna be
Stepping
fighting
into
somebody by the
share.
end.
That sounds delicious. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Spirits for spirits.
Yeah. Nice. All right. You want a quick history of this beer?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I was born and raised outside of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, still live there. And 2 major institutions in Pennsylvania is Yuengling Beer and Hershey's. Everybody's heard of Hershey's chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody has heard of Yuengling. Yuengling Brewery is about an hour north of me in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. It was started in 1829, making it the oldest continuously operating brewery in the United States. So
wow.
Pennsylvania has that unique distinction of having the oldest brewery. So I'm proud of that. So in honor of the special occasion of us hanging out tonight, I'm drinking that. And this is infused with Hershey's chocolate, and it's delicious.
Cheers.
So
Right.
cheers. Yes.
I thought Yuengling, it sounds like it's like from China.
China, I know it does have a weird name, Yuengling. I don't know the history. I think it might be a German. That is the name of the family too. Yuengling is the name of the family, and they're in their 3rd or 4th generation. And the cool, also, MaryLynn, you'll appreciate this. It's actually owned and operated now by the daughters. So it's an all-female owned brewery as well now.
That's
So
cool.
that's pretty badass. I love that too. So, but yeah, I think it might be a German last name. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to check on that.
So what is the spelling on it?
Yuengling, Yuengling.
Okay.
Yeah, like Yuengling all the way, like the song.
Yeah, exactly. Yuengling all
Jingle
the way.
bells.
Not
Ying-
jingle
Yuengling
bells.
Yes.
Y-U-E. So it's totally different.
Yeah, Yuengling.
Hey, Misty.
Misty!
Hi, everybody. Hey, Eddie, hello.
Oh, how you in the house?
Steven.
All right, I'm going to go down the list really quick and say hello to everybody so we don't miss anyone.
Please do.
So we have Chris with Paranormal Rockdown, Stephen,
Woo-hoo.
Annie, Sarah Lemos,
Hello.
Lee Allen, Crystal,
Push down.
Chris Blomquist,
Yep.
Hello.
Bye-bye.
Greg Ogles,
Thank you, Stephen.
Kelly Hapala. Hope I said that right. I think I did.
Hello.
Joe
Hey.
Siegel, Luna Moon,
Yeah.
Hello.
Misty Gaither,
Misty,
James Cummings.
Misty, my girl, Misty.
Holly McGill,
Holly.
Holly. She knows Yuengling. She's familiar with Yuengling.
and that's
That's my brother's
we have
favorite
so far.
beer. That's awesome.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for
put,
joining
the
them.
actual history there.
Yeah, throwing a little history lesson among the shenanigans.
Yeah, Nick, what up, buddy? So you're not in Philly anymore, though, right?
Yep, I'm still in Philly. Yep, born and
Really?
raised.
I didn't
Not
know.
in like the city proper, but like I live in a small town called Pottstown, Pennsylvania. If you're familiar with Pennhurst, Pennhurst Asylum is 5 minutes from me. I was born and raised 5 minutes from Pennhurst.
That's a bucket list location of where I want to go. So
Oh, you guys have to come. You guys have to come.
we will come see you.
I'm literally 5 minutes from Pennhurst, and it's a great location, and you guys need to visit.
And Pennhurst is huge, right?
Pennhurst is huge. And I actually know some of the good folks who work there and maintain that building, the facility managers and stuff. And it's a great location. Has amazing history, as you guys know. And I'm always the first to sing the praises because they're trying to do right by the place and the history and all that good stuff. So you guys have to come visit.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I don't know much about it. Is there like a smaller place for beginners, like a Pencilhurst?
A Pencilhurst, maybe.
No? Okay.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no. You're just gonna have to dive head first right into Penhurst. Sorry, buddy.
We're gonna look into that.
Yeah.
So before we get any further, I would like to say thank you to everyone that wished me a happy birthday yesterday, as yesterday was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
I will say on my birthday, typically, if I get maybe 5 to 10 people that are like, "Oh, hey, happy birthday, dude!" Like that's a good year, right, on Facebook for me. But since I've done this show and I've been doing all this traveling. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. Stop, weirdos. They're weirdos. I had over 150 people. It was paid. I believe that. I had over 150 people just on my timeline alone that said happy birthday. And I tried to make sure that I said, thank you to everybody individually because it showed me when I first started.
Berserk.
Let's let the animals do their thing. They're fine.
They're excited about your birthday.
So excited, but it really showed me that that when I started this, I wasn't sure how accepted myself or comedy in general was going to be, because it's not something that you would normally associate with
the paranormal. Yeah,
sure.
Which I think which is kind of strange because I think everyone, you talk to anyone that does it, they're always joking around prior, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're always like, yeah, I had my buddies over, we were having a good time, So I think there's a good reason for it to be accepted, but I wasn't sure. And I think that just really it really showed to me deep down that you guys have really accepted me into that little family, and that we're going to continue to grow. And my hope is that we're able to help others, break into the field, hope that grow. And, like I said, or like I would say, a rising tide lifts all ships. So hopefully, maybe through, pair with the normal, people that maybe wouldn't normally be interested in the paranormal, or maybe they will be. And now they're going to be more inclined to go and visit Katie and find out more about what Katie does. Katie, what do you do?
What do I do? Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so we're transitioning. I should know to expect the unexpected, right? I came as prepared as possible. I had my snacks for, National Cookie Day, and I had my spirit, and I had my phone, and but then, and then when you go and ask me what do, I freaking blank out, right? So what do? I run a company called Tamerlane Media. And for anyone who isn't familiar with the word Tamerlane, it is a Poe reference. And anyone who wants to be bored to death about that, I can talk to you a little bit about Poe. Annie knows a lot about Poe.
Yeah, I do want to know more about that because, my wife's from Baltimore.
Oh, no way.
And, yes. And nice. I know that is where he was born. And I believe I think he's buried there too, right?
He's buried there. He was actually born in Boston, died in Baltimore.
That's right. Yeah, but he's buried in Baltimore, right?
Yes, he was buried a total of 2 times in Baltimore. So, yeah, the first time he was buried, it didn't stick, and he was exhumed and reburied.
So why was that? I don't know. I'm about to find out. But Katie, tell us more about Tamerlane Media and
Sure.
its connection to Poe.
Sure. So basically, through Tamerlane Media, I do a couple things. I run public ghost hunts and paranormal events.
Did you say pubic?
Yeah, I did say pubic events. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So you have to be of a certain, personality to attend my events because they are pubic. So, just throwing it out there.
Then you would be good reading my books.
Oh, that's right. We chatted a little bit about your books. They sound saucy.
Yes.
They sound a little saucy. I'm loving
Mark.
that. Yeah. Okay. I'm on it. And I also publish books. Speaking of books, that's the other thing I do through Tamerlane. I publish spiritual and paranormal books. And I also do energy work. Not a lot of people know. A lot of people know me in the paranormal community as the ghost hunter, paranormal researcher, and event planner for ghost hunts. But my primary passion is helping people through energy work, Reiki, energy work, chakra cleaning, balancing, all that kind of woo-woo stuff. That's my biggest passion and what I was put on this earth to do to help people. So
passion, more energy.
Yes. So that's what I do through Tamerlane, and it's fun. I'm enjoying it.
So when you say you do like ghost hunts, is it specific to just like Philadelphia area?
This might be a good segue, MaryLynn, but so yeah. So because you're gonna get a shocker too in a minute here, Mr. Pickles. So yes, to answer your question, yes, because I'm in Philadelphia, most of my events are in the Philly area. I did an event last year. No, not last year. It's still 2024. Holy crap. In Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, which is a little farther west. But yeah, they're all in the Pennsylvania area. But starting next year, I'm going to expand my horizons a little bit. And I hope to have a little bit bigger events elsewhere. Nice. Boom! So that's what I've got coming up. April 26th, everybody mark your calendars.
And Mike, we're going.
And you guys are going, by the way. So
I was looking for my beautiful face on there. I don't see it.
Well, it's not on there yet because she just talked to us.
Yes. Okay, good. Phew.
Yes. So for those of you who aren't familiar, that is the USS North Carolina. It's a paranormal investigation that I'm hosting on the battleship North Carolina in Wilmington, April 26th. I haven't even put the made it public yet or published tickets yet, but I hope to.
It's public now.
It is public now. Yes, indeed. So when the tickets are available, I will let everybody know. Thank you, Annie. Love you, girl. So there you go. And Mr. Pickles, Propotamus, you are going, by the way.
Okay, awesome. I'm excited. April 26th.
Hi, Jenny.
Yeah, and it's on the battleship there, so that's going to be. And we actually get to do a tour of it. So
yes, and it's a tour. You have all day access. Just a little sneak peek. You have all day access beginning when they open during the day. You can walk around, self-guided tour during the day, and then at 6:00, you're mine for the investigation until 3 a.m. We are going to investigate that bad boy. So yeah, I'm hoping everyone in the chat will join us. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Oh man, that's great. So we'll promote the heck out of it because that's going to be huge.
It's going to be big. I'm hoping.
So you did.
Yeah, Holly, you better be there, girl. Sorry.
Holly. I want to say I met Holly at the Spooky Explorers Club.
Spooky Explorers Club. I've never heard of such a thing, but I do know you met her at the Gettysburg Bash.
Oh, maybe I met her at the Bash. Okay, yes. I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah.
Spooky, awesome.
Wait, Spooky what? What did you say? Spooky
Explorers Club? I've never heard of that.
Is that a thing? Holly, is that a thing? I've never heard of that.
It is a thing. So Spooky Explorers Club is something that is created by Aaron Sagers. And this year, yes, the back. Okay, good. And we went to Disney World.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. You did. How was that?
It was a lot of fun. I actually got sick, so I had to leave super early because I didn't want to get anybody else sick. The second I felt it coming in, I was like, I gotta go. I got no chance. So I left, but it was amazing. The first day I was there, it was so fun, and everybody had a great time. I'm really excited for next year.
Yeah, I did see pictures of that. It looked amazing. Yeah.
And it says that you've done the aura photography with
Jenny.
Jenny
with
Davis. Jenny
How
Davis.
did that
How are you?
go? She did mine.
Did she?
Yeah.
She's
So
amazing.
what color were you?
I was green. My aura was green.
I love green. Leprechauns are green.
The leprechauns are green, and I'm Irish, so I was happy with green. I'll take it. So it's
I was yellow.
Pickles. You were yellow?
I was yellow, like the snow after you've gone to the potty.
Oh, you were Eskimo snow, Eskimo yellow snow. Gotcha. Okay.
But it turns out it was actually surprisingly accurate because it really described my personality to a T. So I have to give her kudos.
Yes.
It was really awesome.
Jenny is the bomb.
And it's correct. Jenny says Mike said he needed to be a comedian, and it is correct.
Oh, well, there you go. It came to fruition.
So I don't know if you know this, Katie, but I have a son.
I did not know that. No, wait. Did I? Who? Did you have him with you at the soiree?
What's that?
Did you have him with you at an event that I met? No.
That was his brother.
I don't know.
was
Were
your
you at
brother.
Gettysburg?
I was at Gettysburg, but I met someone that came with you at the soiree. Who was that?
That's his
Oh, that was
brother.
my brother.
That's your brother. Okay. I met your
You
brother.
met my son. You met my son at Gettysburg.
I did.
You did. You didn't even know it. So you did.
I
You
didn't
met
know
him in
I'm-
Gettysburg. He lives at the orphanage, the haunted orphanage in Gettysburg.
Oh, okay. You had me fooled there for a minute. Pickles Hippopotamus. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Good old Tom Demko.
Yes.
So
Thomas
the reason he
Demko.
brings that up is because at one of the events, he made. Go ahead, Mike. You made the comment.
So they come up. So the whole Ghostly Images tour comes up to me, and they're like, "Hey, we're with Ghosted Images," and then the first thing they say is, "Tom lives at the orphanage," and I was like, "Oh, hang in there, buddy. Somebody will adopt you." You know. And he's like, and that just like completely threw them off their game, and
Right.
It stuck with them so much that they reached out to me and they're like, I cannot stop thinking about this. We cannot stop making fun of Tom because he lives at the orphanage now. So I made him a video to help him get adopted.
Okay.
But nobody would. So I said, if nobody would adopt him, I would take him in. So I've officially adopted.
Oh, I was going to say, do you need to play the video now? Maybe somebody in the chat would want to officially adopt him, but you.
Tom says he is 65.
Okay.
65 now.
So
just yes, and I talked about that. I said, he's older, but look, hey, he's already got a driver's license.
right.
He's got AARP membership. You can get discounts at IHOP. Okay, who doesn't want that? He's already probably got great health insurance.
Krista's saying, "Don't take our son.
Don't take our son away."
No, I won't. He is safely in your hands, Krista. No worries there, girl. It's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the folks at Ghostly Images are amazing. Tom and Christy, right? Yeah, they're amazing folks. So
He said his teeth are good.
Right? Yeah.
So would that kind of make me his grandmother, because it's almost like I'm a motherly figure for you on the
Auntie.
show?
Auntie.
oh,
Okay.
it's a
Okay.
family affair.
Yes.
Yes.
I like
Bree
it.
Thornton says, "Katie,
Hello, Bree.
we're
Hello,
okay
everybody in
with
the chat.
with you being late." And yeah, Christina. So here we are.
What are you drinking again? Pickles Hippopotamus. What are you drinking?
I am drinking Crown Royal Peach.
Crown Peach. Nice.
Yes, it's really good.
Out of your
I like
porta
Crown.
potty.
I'm not from Canada, but I like Canadian whiskeys.
That's okay. That's
It's
okay.
heavy fruit. And also my favorite, for anybody that actually wants to know what my favorite whiskey is, it's actually Japanese whiskey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a one company in particular called Hibiki, and it is, I think it's actually owned by Suntory, but it is phenomenal. It is the best whiskey you could ever have.
So they're not really regulated on how much alcohol they put in, are they?
Yes.
They are? Okay.
Yes, yes. I'm not sure about in Japan, but if they sell it overseas, they have to have the proper labeling.
So
I would
I'm
challenge you.
So I'm actually drinking, it's a mango peach with tequila.
Did you guys plan that? You're both drinking something peachy. Did
Nope.
you plan that?
It just happens.
Just a coinky dink?
It
Okay.
does. So it's funny because when we're traveling, it's like we get on the same schedule with everything, even on our pee breaks.
Your pee and poop breaks, you're on the same pee and poop schedule.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's crazy.
That's funny. I've heard that happens to people when they get close and, they start to share energy. They get on the same schedule.
Yeah.
So,
Well, what's funny is when Mike and I first started doing this, we had never worked together. He had never done an investigation or anything. So us filming, that was my first time filming as well. So us doing that investigation was the first time for us to work together.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it hasn't been
the first
almost
and
a
second
year.
episodes are literally less than 24 hours apart that we filmed. So, I mean, that's about as raw as you can get as far as my adventure into it. And then after the second episode, that's when, the wheels fall off the
training
ship.
wheels came off. Yep.
The gloves come off and it gets nuts and we just have a blast. So I'm really excited.
I just watched the second episode, by the way, right before I came on.
Yay.
Can I say where it is or should I not say where it is? Yorktown Hospital in Texas, right?
Yes.
It's on my bucket list. I have not been. It's on my bucket list. And that episode was amazing, guys.
Well, thank you.
Really
We
cool.
are actually going back there this weekend.
Are you?
Yes.
To investigate, have some fun.
We're going to go with another group.
Nice.
If you look, if you really pay attention, or you don't really need to pay attention that hard, but it's the rain and the lightning are so severe when we get there that the entire bottom floor is completely flooded.
Oh.
So we actually couldn't get to the bottom floor. We couldn't get to the basement, and we couldn't go upstairs because the rain was so bad.
There was literally a waterfall inside the building.
That's insane.
Yeah, like that's all you could hear too was just water rushing through.
Yeah, I know the opening scene, I'll ruin it, but the opening scene, you guys are dashing through a downpour of water to get to the front door of the damn place. So
and that's pretty much like it was at the Black Swan Inn as well. So the same storm was the night before. It just continued throughout the day.
And it just followed us.
Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's a theme on your show is just water.
Well, I think the first 5 shows that we filmed, it was raining.
Really?
Yeah. So I think it was the last 2 is for the first time it was not raining.
Yeah. Bye, Annie. Yeah, that's really weird.
Why didn't like it? Didn't Crystal? I want to say it was like a spritzer, though, right? Oh yes.
Did she give you Malibu and pineapple? Oh,
Malibu pineapple is good, but I think it was a spritzer.
I think it might have been a spritzer.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a hard time with steps. I don't know what. It's because I have wide feet.
Yeah, I noticed you stumbled up the steps, and I'm like, were you drinking in the van there, or what?
He stumbles just walking down the street, so you can't say it's just the steps.
Are you accident prone?
I just think it's my wide. I have wide feet. I finally went and I bought. For the first time, I've just admitted to the fact that I don't have dainty feet. So I went and I actually bought a wide fit shoe for the first time, and it's delightful.
It's delightful?
It is. It is.
Okay.
So, Katie, I'm going to switch gears on you. And I want to ask you about the afterlife.
Okay, let's go there.
Okay. First off, do you believe in reincarnation?
I do. Absolutely, I believe in reincarnation. Yes.
Okay. So, does everyone get reincarnated?
I believe, now I learned this in my Reiki training. For people who don't know, 2 years ago, I took a step back from the paranormal. I'm going to answer your question. I took a step back from the paranormal and I just dove deep and chug. Spent a year learning Reiki, and that's all I did. I ate, breathed, shit, learned, researched Reiki. And during that training, I learned a lot about reincarnation, different universes, that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I believe in reincarnation. However, I believe that it's not necessarily a good thing. You're not meant to. You're not meant to reincarnate. If you reincarnate, it means you have unfinished business that you didn't take care of the first time. And so you're being reincarnated to fix it again. Wash, rinse, repeat until you fix that problem. We're meant to be.
Well, then what happens after you fix the problem?
Then you're a spirit. You don't have a meat suit anymore. You don't reincarnate into another human meat suit, and you're just a flea. You're just a flea.
You're just bouncing around. And it actually,
Yes.
for me, is, my thought process on that too, is you can actually become spirit guides and you can help others.
Yes. And that is the ultimate goal, right? The ultimate goal is to be a free floating spirit out in the universe, to not have a meat suit, and that you can ascend and you can become a spirit guide or some kind of ascended, I call them ascended masters.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of my Reiki training, is learning about ascended masters. And so, yeah, so I believe in reincarnation, but Earth can be, being earthbound can be hell, right? So it's not necessarily the end goal. The end goal is to really shed our meat suit and to be free and clear of that, and to be free floating out in space and not to reincarnate. But I do believe in reincarnation. So yeah.
So what about, well, before I ask the next question, we do have a question here. How should she prepare for her past life regression?
Oh, okay.
Dokalax.
Dokalax.
She's not trying to shit her.
She will after, though. I will, Bree, I will tell you, during past life regression, and it's it is energy. That is energy work. Like Reiki is energy work. Tarot is energy work. Doing chakra balancing is energy work. And anytime you have energy work, you will push stuff out emotionally, mentally, and physically. So, bye, Pickles. So you will, shed whatever needs to be shed, even during a past life regression. So Bree, be prepared that not to make light of it or make fun of what we're talking about, but yeah, you will, purge.
Yes.
You will purge after.
I do all the same stuff that you do. I'm also a Reiki master. I do the chakra healing and all that good stuff. So we're on the same page.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we could talk forever about that kind of stuff, right? It's good stuff, and it's important.
What is a ghost?
What is a ghost?
I think that is the universal question. I think that is so hard to answer because
it is.
That's what we all chase,
investigate.
Right?
Yeah.
But to you, what
to
is
me, well, here's the thing, MaryLynn, I think you may identify with this, but I go back to my Reiki training. Ghost is kind of a bad word in the Reiki world, because ghost is has a negative connotation behind it. Ghost usually means a bad spirit.
Okay.
You're earthbound and you're not meant to be, in Reiki, you're supposed to be, like I said, this meat suitless person, spirit out in the universe. And so a ghost has a negative connotation in, the kind of the woo-woo world, in my personal experience. So when I tell people that I'm a ghost hunter or a paranormal investigator, they kind of, they're like, oh gosh, you do that? You subject yourself to.
Doesn't that scare you?
Yeah, doesn't that scare you? Are you afraid of attachments? Aren't you afraid of going home with something following you home? I'll throw a word out there, MaryLynn will identify as a light worker, as a star seed. Aren't you afraid of, getting attachments and all the good stuff? And I'm like, well, if you protect yourself properly, it's not a problem. But again, to answer your question, ghost, I don't know. I don't really have a definition of ghost. I think spirit for me has a little bit higher connotation to it. I think spirit encompasses lots of different things, and ghost to me has one definition and spirit has lots of definitions. I don't know if that really answers the question, but.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty interesting that you bring that up, because I talk about this because in my very short time, I've started to piece things together to try to make things, I guess, make sense to me. So I'm not saying that this is true. I'm not saying that I am the, Nostradamus or Einstein of the paranormal field, but This is one of my hypotheses.
Okay.
Hypothesize.
Let's hear it.
So, and I usually start it by asking if you have a pet. So do you have a pet right now?
Do I have a pet right now? I do not have a pet.
Okay.
I have plants.
Do you remember the last pet you had?
Yes, the last pet I had was a very long time ago when I was a child. I had a pet dog.
Okay. Do you remember your dog's name?
Pong. Pong.
Okay.
Pong. He had a sister named Ping. Ping Pong.
Ping pong.
Ping Pong.
That's cute.
Yes. His name is Pong.
So, okay, that's phenomenal. So if you believe in reincarnation, do you remember any of your past lives?
Yeah, I've had several past life regressions done over the past 2 years. And if Bree is still listening, you're in for a treat. It's very illuminating. And it depends on who you go to. There are people, practitioners who will regress you, and you encounter your own past lives and you experience it for yourself, which is what I prefer. I go to practitioners that do that. But then there are other practitioners who will see the past lives for you, and they
would you like to share one?
Past life, yeah. So I had a past life once when I was a Roma gypsy, from like the Romanian, and I don't know the time period. I forget. I was a Roma gypsy, and I had this book of knowledge, right? That was passed down to me from my grandmother to my mother to me, and it had a lot of sacred knowledge in it. And a lot of people don't know that, the gypsies in Romania and that area, Bulgaria, they were persecuted. They were seen as witches, witchcraft, and all that good stuff. And so in a past life, I was a Roma gypsy who was pretty much, I wasn't executed or killed, but I was, belittled, and I was excommunicated from the community I lived in because I was considered a witch, and I had all the sacred knowledge that was considered kind of witchcrafty at the time. So that was one pretty profound past life that I remember.
That's awesome. So,
yeah.
And I think that's a great example. And you've already mentioned how you had this book of knowledge, but you can't remember what was actually in it, right?
I don't. And I think having past life, and I don't know your experience if you've ever had them, but past life regressions for me are kind of like peeling back onions, layers. You don't always get all the answers the first time. So no, I saw the world I lived in, my family, I saw what I looked like, and I actually was holding the book in my hand, but I kind of came out, woke up before I saw.
What are the odds in that life that you probably had some form of pet as well?
I probably did. Yeah. I'm interested to know where you're going with the whole pet questioning. So yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Please tell me more about that.
But you obviously don't know the pet, which means you don't know their name.
No.
Now, and I bring this up because a pet, to me, next to somebody who is very, 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 very close to you, is probably the most tragic thing to lose. So what I mean by that is it has such a high value emotional impact when you get it, when you're around it, and then when you lose it. A pet probably means the most to somebody right now. I bet you there's every person in this chat who's had a pet, and I'm almost guaranteed most of them have. You've probably broke down in tears when they passed.
Absolutely.
I have.
Yeah.
We all have, right? Something so emotionally valuable to you, but you cannot remember who that was in any other life.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
I have a reasoning for that.
Okay.
I believe that I theorize that when you pass, you could potentially shed your past life like a snake sheds a skin. Okay. Or if you want to look at it from a different perspective, you shit it out. Okay. Leaving behind the carcass or the remains, okay, or the skin of the snake to stay intact for everyone else it was connected to.
Okay.
Right? because it's not valuable to you anymore. It's more valuable to the people that are still around.
Right.
Right? Because a psychic, ask any psychic. They can talk to your grandma, your grandpa, your great-grandma, your great-grandpa. Well, guess what? They've probably been reincarnated at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Why on earth would they all be sticking around for all of us? Because then that completely shuts down the idea of reincarnation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
So how can you have both? So I believe you as a being have the ability to basically shed it off and set it here and say, okay, well, this is now fully autonomous, programmed to interact with everything that it's been associated with.
Okay.
That's what it does now.
And when does that happen, though? When does that happen? When you shed upon death? Okay.
I believe that happens upon death.
Okay.
Because when you shed your body, you shed all the spiritual weight that comes with it. Yes. However, I do believe that just like a snake, little pieces of skin can stay stuck.
Yes.
And those are the memories and the deja vu that you go through.
Yes.
That's how you become a prodigy at 11 playing the piano. That's how you have memories of being a Roma gypsy. They're just these little pieces from lives you've left behind. Mm-hmm. Right. So it is still technically you, but you'll never know your entire history because you've left it behind. Right. It's there. It's not with you now. Mm-hmm. That's my hypothesis. I'm not saying it's true. That's just the way that I've tried to come up with my own reasoning for why things are the way they are.
Right.
Well, it makes sense to you on that, and it's something that you have to work with what helps you understand, and somebody else may think a little differently. So that's why we investigate, and that's why we're looking into all of this, trying to figure out, what's out there. So we do have another question is like, were you going through the Akashic Records? Was that the book of Akashic Records that you were looking at?
It could be. And I did see that comment, and so yeah, when you do past life regressions, you do, first of all, you do access the Akashic Library, the Akashic Records, and it is possible. I don't know, maybe in another lifetime I would have just had access to that book, and maybe I was holding that Akashic book of mine, and I just wasn't. Maybe I wasn't mature enough. Maybe I wasn't ready yet to see it. I don't know. But yeah, that is a good hypothesis. So yeah, and I like your theory, Mike. It makes a lot of sense, that leaving pieces of ourselves behind, and shedding things. But I also think that another component of that is that when we are, again, this is part of my Reiki training, when we are originally born as the first time spirit ever. We are born from source, universe, whatever you want to call it, and we come down to earth for the very first I forget where I was going with that comment. When we come down to earth for the very first time, I forget where I was going with that. Why did I just totally flew? I guess I wasn't meant to say it because I completely forget what the hell I was going to say.
Well, I'll continue until you can figure that out. But what I will say is, for example, at the creation of society, let's go back to Egypt, right?
So, Mike, before you get into that,
yes,
I would like to answer Bree's question. How long does one session take? As far as that, it really depends on the person and how deep you're wanting to go. Because I've had them to where they do them for 30 minutes, and I've had another session where they wanted to go even deeper, and it goes 2 hours. That's a lot.
Yeah. How deep? More than 10 inches, you could hurt yourself. So just be.
That is true.
I knew you were going to go there at some point, Pickles. So yeah, wouldn't be a show without Pickles saying something like that.
It's true.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, MaryLynn. It all kind of depends. And I also agree. Oh, I know where I was going. Thank you. Thank you. So where I was going with my original comment, which then circles back around to what MaryLynn said, that when we come down to earth for the very first time, I just lost it again, but that's okay.
The time frame, it could be 30 minutes to 2 hours. It's just.
Yeah, it depends. You have a soul contract. So if you want to take it one step further, we can talk about soul contracts. That when you come down from source for the very first time, you have a soul contract for everything that you're meant to do in that current lifetime. You're supposed to meet this person. You're supposed to marry this person. You're supposed to have this job. You're supposed to, do this, that, and the other thing. And so you have soul contracts with everything that you do in life.
A used soul salesman somewhere?
There could be, but I think that your consciousness is smart enough to override that used car salesman and say, no way, Jose. I'm not.
Because if you're saying a contract, so who's providing the contract?
You agree to it. So the universe.
So who are you agreeing with?
Yourself.
The universe.
In the universe. It's
why on earth would I want to contract myself?
Well, that's the whole thing is a lot of people, because they have the lessons that they want to learn. So they agree to that contract. It may not be everything that they want in there, but it's something that they agree to that first contract, and they have to continue that until they learn that lesson.
Right.
And that's to where you may agree with this. But from my analogy is you continue to reincarnate and come back until you've learned those lessons, until you become more spiritual, and then you can decide to move on. So until you reach that spirituality, you're going to keep returning.
Right.
Like you contract HIV. I get it now.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah.
You contract a disease, and you just, But
so I mean, I do think, well, I don't know. See, the idea of a contract to me means that you could have decided to not sign, right?
And
yes, absolutely.
it's your choice.
Yes, it's
but
your choice.
That's things I don't think you do. I don't think there's a choice. I think if you're here, you're not here by choice.
Okay.
Right? Now, that doesn't mean that you still don't sign a contract, but the contract could be less of a contract and more of a stipulation, right?
But see, the first time you come in, that is when you have the choice to sign or not. After that is when you don't have the choice.
I don't think that's true either. And I think this comment can sum it up in a way too. Yeah, there's a good chance that you could easily be forced here too, right? Because and this brings me to where I talked about Egypt. Do you know what the total population of the world was back in ancient Egypt? Right around a billion.
A billion?
Yeah, right around a billion people on the planet at that time.
Okay.
So currently, right now, we have 8 billion.
Right.
Heading towards the 9 part, right? Mm-hmm. So where did all those extra souls come from? Right? So,
universe.
Right, but it's not where you're just, it's not like people are driving by going, oh, that place looks nice. I think that looks like a good golf destination. Because one, you have to have the bodies, right, to inhabit, right? So that takes time, right? So, and then you can't always predict when a body's going to be available. Unless you're trying to tell me that now we have a waiting line, right? Are we taking numbers now, right? So, or is it something to where it's something that is being cultivated where you're already being held and something can grab you and say, okay.
Well, that's kind of where you're in limbo.
Time.
So that's where, for me, is like if you have not reincarnated, you can be in limbo, but you don't know how long you're going to be in limbo. So it could be like, say, 1800, then all of a sudden it's the year 2000 and you've reincarnated. Everything is just so different.
Right.
Yeah, but if you think of it, like if we go back to Egypt and there's a billion bodies, so you're saying there's 7 billion people just waiting in limbo to do just like Beetlejuice, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Like the waiting room in Beetlejuice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so exciting when you really kind of start to kind of go down the weird rabbit hole, right? And that doesn't even scratch the surface as to alien. Like for example, let's say I think aliens exist. There's no reason for them not to.
Absolutely.
So who's to say that we don't just cycle? Who's to say that right now, MaryLynn, you're a human, but your next life you could be a bleeblorp on Zarnax 9.
Could be, or else I could come back as a dog, or
Right.
It's not always necessarily coming in as a human. You could experience something different.
Yeah. I'm reading the notes in the chat, and I'm loving what's going on over there.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get them up as they come through.
Yeah, I love the conversation going on. Yeah, Mike, it's an interesting conversation, and you're right. Like if we You mean to tell me 8 billion people, or is that what we're at now? So 8 billion people have willingly said, yeah, let's go down to Earth,
Right.
and overpopulated this little round rock. Why the hell would 8 billion people decide to do that? And so then that opens up the question of, not all of us are, some of us are just going through, none of us are all awakened. You know what I mean? Not all of us are
Right.
here on a spiritual path. Some of
That's
us are
true.
just humans, just going through the daily grind,
Going through
work,
the motions.
going through the motions, and then we freaking die. You know, not all of us here have huger missions here on Earth, and hence maybe why we have 8 billion people, because people just keep procreating and overpopulating. Maybe
What up,
that's
big dude?
so.
That's
Mike,
true. When my father passed, he was like, "There's no afterlife. There's nothing. When I'm dead, and that's it."
And
Right.
that's his belief.
that's his
Right,
belief.
and I think that can also, how much does belief contribute? Because as a spiritual being, I think the thing that we have that is our greatest superpower, really, at that point, is belief.
Yes.
Yep.
Everything
Right.
comes down to belief. Everything.
The thing is, whenever you die, your beliefs, I believe, kind of go with you too, because that does not just disappear. So if he chooses that his body is just done, he's making the choice now not to reincarnate. So he probably will not reincarnate.
Right.
Or maybe he will, and he will just actively choose to forget everything.
That's a possibility too.
Yeah, that's true too.
Right. So had I mentioned, you can kind of shed things off and set aside. Well, what if you also have the ability to go, nope, I'm just eliminating all of this. I don't want any of it to exist.
Yeah.
And I'm moving on.
You could, but then I think that if you're doing that, you're breaking your soul contract.
You are.
And that is possible. If
what
you,
happens when you break a soul contract?
Yeah, that could be dangerous.
Maybe that's how you wind up with a soul patch.
Yeah, that's how you end up with the soul patch. Yes, that is eternal damnation. That's is to have a soul patch because you broke your soul contract. But so my question to you, Mike, then is, since your father didn't believe in the afterlife, does that mean, if you don't mind talking about it, does that mean he hasn't visited you? You don't feel him? You know what I mean?
I personally haven't felt my dad.
Okay.
But
has he come through at all?
And I've never tried to pull him through or try to help you with it.
No,
so
my wife feels him often.
Really?
But she says she feels him often. And I was also told by Sarah that my dad does hang around, and that my dad was sorry about a lot of things, and that he was proud. So, but he hasn't spoken to me or been seen by me directly.
Okay. But I find that even more interesting, though, that he didn't believe in the afterlife, but he's still coming through to other people.
But not me. But our relationship was unique.
Okay.
So
maybe that's why.
Kate, oh my gosh. Kate, I don't know how much you know about my past life, this life. So my mom, love her to death. She married my dad. They were together for all of 2 years. My dad and my mom divorced. My dad had a cocaine problem. He had a severe alcohol problem, and he basically hit the road.
Okay.
When I turned 12, my mom, she just was emotionally struggling, with her own identity and things at the time. So she wound up leaving Vegas. I live in Vegas, and she moved to Florida temporarily. And during that time, she pulled me out of school. I was in 6th grade, and she said, "Mike, here's the book for 7th grade, and I broke up with Emil, so you can't stay there. Good luck." And I said, "Okay, you do you, I'll do me." In fact, Stevie Lappin, who's in the chat, I actually wound up staying with him for several months. Right after that, I was actually who I stayed with right off the bat. But I eventually left, and Stevie can even attest to this too. They were, I love them; they're great. But I've never been a big drug person, and drugs were definitely an issue there. And I kind of was like, okay, well, I'm going to just kind of do my own thing because
Mhm.
why not? Right. And
Right.
so I took the test. I never once cracked that book, and Stevie can attest to that. I never once opened that book. And I went and I had to take the test for the home study test, right? And you have to do, and it's not just, they don't just test you on the 6th grade, they test you on like everything. It's like a 6-hour test. You finish the test. After that, they basically they mail you your stuff and they pull you into a room and they talk to you about your results. And I had come back with collegiate level in everything but math.
Okay.
So I said, okay, well, school is not an issue for me. So I don't need that right now to survive. I need other things to survive. So I got a job at a church, and my mom would eventually come back into the picture, and I would live with her off and on. And I made maybe like, if I made $5 for the week, that was a good week. I had the clothes on my back. I had a pair of rollerblades, and I handed out flyers all around town. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Sometimes you didn't eat. Sometimes you did. Sometimes I
That's
stayed with
why
my mom.
he has all the snacks around all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That
it's actually like a mental
It is.
thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have to have them, right? Because I ate a lot of questionable foods when I was younger, and I don't want to do that anymore. Like I won't eat leftovers.
Nope.
I refuse. I really refuse.
Okay.
He won't even eat pizza if it's sitting for a couple hours. He won't touch it.
Okay.
It's true.
So that's
true.
So that's an energetic block that you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So so that's when I turned 16. My dad had come back into my life to take care of my grandparents. My grandparents passed away. At the time, I was living with my mother on 28th Street, and we lived in a studio. So there was no room. It was just one room with like the kitchen in it, and a toilet.
Inefficiency.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And I slept on the ground, which was just concrete with like a layer of carpet, but no. Yeah, Trevor says definitely won't eat leftovers. That is very true, Trevor.
Interesting.
Okay. So when my grandparents died, my dad was like, "Hey, they're got a free room. You want a room?" I was like, "Sure, that sounds great." I quit the church that I was working at. I worked there for 2.5 years at this point, and I decided that I wanted to get a real job. So I moved in with my dad, and I went up to Hobbytown, USA, which they sell RC cars, Dungeons and Dragons, things like that. And I said, hire me. They said no. So I started cleaning their store, and that went on for about 2.5 months. They would find me, kick me out, and then I would come back the very next day until they did eventually hire me, and I worked there for 3 years. So, but that's kind of like my launch into life. And I learned from a very young age that nobody is responsible for you but you.
Right.
And I think that's, to me, I guess, so it made it difficult for me because I never went to church. So, and I think when people think of things paranormally or spiritually, they immediately think of things from church. Even though I worked for a church, it wasn't that kind of a church, right? It wasn't like the church you go and you worship and you praise Jeebus or whatever. So it was just different, right? So it was quite an experience to go from that and then come into this and start to kind of learn about what the paranormal was, because I had no clue.
Right. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that story. I didn't know any of that, so thank you for that. And a million different things I could ask you about that. And my first comment would be that, going back to what we were talking about earlier, that you had a soul contract to go through all those hardships.
Sure. Maybe, but to me it wasn't. But so that's what's so interesting. To me, it wasn't a hardship. I had no clue. To me, it was totally normal. Okay. I loved my life. I loved it. I loved every second of it, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I had no clue that what I was going through was
not normal.
It was abnormal at all. That anything was wrong.
Yeah.
Because to me, I looked around and I was the happy one.
Okay.
right?
Interesting. Okay.
Everybody
I
else
mean,
miserable.
Yeah, you'd ask, Stevie Lappin. I've known Stevie since I was 2 years old. He'll tell you I don't have an angry bone in my body. I just don't.
Right.
I've just never been mean. I'm not an angry person. I've always been the happy one. It's weird. So I didn't realize that anything was wrong until later in life when people started to tell me about their woes. My mom didn't buy me an iPod. I'm like,
Right.
Okay. Is that a problem for you? Like, I didn't know.
Yeah. So my training pretty much taught me that negative emotions are human emotions, right? Anytime you feel anger, pain, disgust, sadness, that's a human emotion.
Sure.
Spirits are neutral. They're all, I hate to say love and light, but they are. So the fact that you, Mike, didn't experience, you had an abnormal, what most people would consider an abnormal childhood or a traumatic childhood, but you didn't see it that
I
way.
get it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you see that, but at the time you were still love and light. And even now, when you tell that story, you definitely feel like it seems like you've resolved whatever issues you have with your past. So that tells me that you are a higher being. You had a soul contract to go through that life. And as you were going through that life, you recognized it. The fact that you were like, you weren't like, I'm a victim, this sucks.
Right.
You didn't have that human reaction that most humans do. So I think even then as a child, you knew that you had a soul contract to go through all that bullshit. And that's what you signed up for. And that's how you were able to maintain that positive attitude. So kudos to you. That's cool.
The craziest part about it is when I had the realization, it wasn't when I was later in life. I was actually 7. And I can actually remember it to this day that when I just kind of looked at myself and I said, Mike, nobody's going to take care of you but you, buddy.
Right.
This is on you. Right. And I've to this day, MaryLynn, we've gone how many places? Have I ever blamed anybody else for any type of I just don't.
As things come along, it's like, okay, so we got to shift, and I'm pretty much the same way. So that's why we work so well together. It's like, we just don't take it personally. It's like, okay, we got to do this instead. So instead of being a victim, I am a little antsier, but
I noticed that. I noticed that with Gold Rush. Gold Rush was a good indicator when Poopy hits the fan, she kind of panics, okay, but she does pull herself together in time.
Yes.
But my panic was because I was doing 3 different jobs at one time.
Semantics.
You were investigating, and as we talked about before we went live, you were firing somebody while on the road.
Driving down the road and pretty much. So I'm on the computer and everything while I'm still trying.
So true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she's firing people. And I've never seen somebody so excited. She would call and be like, hey, is this Josh? I'm like, yeah, this is Josh. Hey, Josh, you're fired, man. Didn't that suck? All right, well, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
That is not how I did it.
But that's also the Sagittarius in you, too. You're a Sagittarius. So
we both are.
You're a Sagittarius, too?
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
The 20th.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, of November? December. Oh,
yep.
So
I'm right on the cusp.
Yeah, I was going to say you're a cusp with
Capricorn. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, that explains both why you guys get along then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've actually known each other now for almost a decade.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I do know the history of your meeting and your backstory between you two. So that's pretty cool. And things have come full circle too. So
they have. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
it was just by chance, and it just happened. It's like it fell into place. We didn't have to fight for it or anything. It's just there.
You had a soul contract with each other to meet and then fulfill your destiny. So here you are now with with a normal.
Or was it a patch?
Sorry. I forgot about the patch part. So
actually, if you look, I can't even have hair there. I have like no hair.
Yeah, you have. Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's why I have to keep pulling mine. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. I got none. I tried to grow my hair out for the Wolverine thing.
Hi, Linda.
I looked like a Wolverine on meth. Like I just had like these patches of hair. It was awful.
Little tufts of hair.
Well, see, because
Oh my
I went as
gosh.
Bellatrix from Harry Potter, and I offered to give him some of my hair to glue to his face.
Oh, there you go. Well, that would have worked, I suppose. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Your birthday's on the 29th, Bree?
Nice.
Capricorn.
We got to meet Bree. We filmed at...
I don't know, Bree. I don't think I've met Bree.
Oh, it was the theater. Or no, the jail. Sorry, it was the jail.
The theater?
We did a theater, but it was at the Bleckley County Jail with Parastash.
Oh yes, yeah, I've been there.
Yes.
It's a great location. Hello, Parastash, if you're watching. Hello.
Parastash.
It's a great location.
So Katie.
Yes.
You have no pets.
You
got kids? You married?
No, I'm a single girl. I'm divorced. I've been divorced for 5 years. It's a whole story, but it's a good story. Nothing really to tell.
Was it in your contract?
It was in my contract to divorce my husband at a certain time. I got a COVID divorce in 2020, which is a lot easier than it sounds. So yeah, that was part of my soul contract because, long story short, I had a soul mission here on earth, and I had to do that outside the confines of a marriage. I had to go on that journey alone. And to this day, me and my ex-husband are still best friends. We see each other all the time. We're still good friends. So he knows all the stuff I do. I drag him to haunted stuff sometimes. So he gets it. And so, yeah, now I'm single. I live alone. No kids. We never had any kids. That was also probably part of my soul contract. I love kids. I have a 12-year-old nephew who I adore, who was like my own.
When did you decide the paranormal was for you?
When I had my first experience, I was 16 years old when I had my first paranormal experience, which is probably a little bit older than most people. Because when I talk to a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I was a toddler. I was 4, I was 5, I was 16.
Yeah, I was 18.
You were how old?
I was 18 when it hit me that, I mean, I had experiences earlier, but I didn't take them as being paranormal. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until I turned about 18 that something had happened to me that scared the bejesus out of me so bad that I said, maybe there's something there that I can't explain.
I think that's a lot of people's experiences. And that was my experience. I had something happen and I can't explain it to this day. I can't recreate it. I don't know what the hell it was. And I've been trying to figure it out ever since. That sent me down a rabbit hole of more of research than investigation. And then, like a lot of people, when the shows came out, I was like, holy shit. That's pretty badass. You can do that. You can go out to haunted buildings and investigate. So yeah, I've been interested in the paranormal I'll date myself for 30 plus years. But I didn't start investigating I've been investigating for about 5.
Okay.
So yeah, and it's fun and I love it. So.
And so when you have Tamerlane Media and you do tours, where do you tour?
Well, I don't tour. I run like ghost hunts.
Oh, hunt. So where do you hunt? Does it change all the time or?
Yeah, I have different events throughout the year. So the very first event I did actually was with Dustin Perry at a local, not a brewery, an Irish pub that we investigated together. That was fun. And then actually I did an investigation this past May with the searchers, Shane and Josh, and Mr. Parastash himself was there. And that was out in Hershey area, but it was Chambersburg Jail. And what else did I do? I think that was it. No, I hosted
and then we got
something.
That one coming up at the was it the North Carolina?
Yes. And I have lots of other things coming up too. So hunts that I'm planning. So yeah.
And so she'll share those with me, and we'll help share those out. And we're going to plan to try to visit as many of her events as we can.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And you guys, I want you at all of it, and come to Philadelphia too. And
absolutely.
Out. I know you were just recently there at this Siggity soiree, but you got to come back. Maybe do
Speaking of the soiree, we actually were able to kind of create a video, an informative informative video on some things that were on the actual battleship. Do we have that available?
I have it here. Let me pull it up. Hold on a second.
It's like she's brand new to me.
I'm telling you, she's wet behind the ears.
Like she's never worked with me before.
You wouldn't even know that she was an IT.
And pickles, yes. Oh, so actually, believe it or not, James Cummings, I actually owe him a Domino's pizza because I totally stole his pizza and ate most of it.
And it looks like you licked it apparently too.
I did more than that. So
You did.
I definitely owe him and Bree another pizza.
Okay.
And that's actually where we met Bree. Bree
Nice.
Thornton too was also at the Bleckley County Jail.
Nice.
That's some sexy looking cheese right there. I always give her a hard time because her name is Bree, but I know it's not spelt the same, but still, give it to me, damn it.
Still, yeah. I would imagine you, Mr. Snack, you would think of cheese right away.
Exactly, right? Like I can't help
get
myself.
Brinton Lodge. Thank you, Holly. Thank you for that reminder. Yes.
Oh, you never, Alicia, you gotta go. If
She's
you never
keeping something up.
investigated a ship, I never have either. I was really hoping to do it on the New Jersey. I wasn't able to. So I'm excited to do it on the North Carolina. And then once we see this video, we'll have you tell us a little bit about the North Carolina and why it's so special.
Sure.
So it's taking a minute to upload because I didn't have it
Go ahead and
uploaded yet.
tell us now.
Hold on a second.
And what are we watching?
Enjoy. Hey guys, Mike G, pair with the normal. I'm here with MaryLynn, us. And we just wanted to take some time. We're at a very historic location. This is actually one of the very first locations where they decided to craft entirely out of metal a giant dildo. And she was very excited when she saw it. I'm not entirely sure why. I just wanted to kind of point this out to you. What's really cool is it's got the fantails to kind of enhance the experience. I'm not entirely sure because giants weren't really a thing, so I'm not really sure if that was necessary or not, or maybe it was like a Guinness Book of World Records thing. We don't really know for sure. It's been lost in the annals of time. See what I did there? But it was really nice to be down here, and of course, we're going to the Battleship New Jersey. Oh, you know what?
We're here for the soiree tonight.
I think that's actually a propeller. Now that I'm looking at it. But don't quote me on that. It's probably the other thing, but it's also possibly a propeller.
It was so windy.
You got the other one on the ship too, right?
I do. I did not have that one here, so it is still uploading. So give me just a minute on that. It's a little bit longer.
Well, Katie, why don't you tell us about what makes the North Carolina so unique?
Well, I was just kind of looking that up as I was.
Oh, perfect. Well, that's great.
I don't really, because I didn't really know. I know obviously it was used during World War II, so apparently it was built in 1937 in New York, in Brooklyn, New York. Let me see what it says here. It was launched in 1940.
So it's seen action.
It did see action in World War II. Yeah, nicknamed the Showboat. It was ordered to the Pacific Theater of Operations after Pearl Harbor. Just, everyone knows Pearl Harbor, December 7th. It was launched to the Pacific for the Pacific operations of World War II. It arrived in Pearl Harbor, 1942. So it has some miles on her for sure.
Wow.
So it has served in every major naval offensive across the Pacific, has 15 battle stars. She is the highest decorated American battleship of all World War II.
Nice.
So, the most decorated American battleship of World War II. And I'm hoping everybody will come down and come up wherever the heck you are and see it.
Derek, show up at her event and I will have drinks with you.
There you go.
So Bree also says that psychic with the
With a
sidekick is
sidekick.
how you should be introduced. Actually, our original name was Sidekicks with PSYD
It's true.
KICKS. So that was our original name.
Mm-hmm.
So can you bring up her flyer really quick?
Yep.
So she can see when it is. So it is a paranormal investigation is on April 26th.
April 26th. Yeah. And everybody involved knows about it, but I didn't tell them when I was going to start advertising. So surprise, everyone who's coming, Shane Pittman, Josh Purvis, Michael John Angus, Sean Austin, Mike, Eric, and Franny. Surprise. It is now official. So there you go.
All right. So
April 26th.
I also see something. You have a book up here, The City of Lost Secret. What's that?
Yeah, so I have 2 books that I published. The City of Lost Secrets. If you're into Da Vinci Code, it's a Da Vinci Code type book.
Love it.
I would consider it like a religious fiction. It's not, religious, but it's religious fiction like Da Vinci Code.
Sure.
Takes place in Jerusalem, Israel, about a woman who is searching for the lost tomb of Jesus. So I'm really proud of that book. I spent 6 months researching that. I did everything.
Unfortunate. She was just born in the wrong place. If she was in Mexico, there's tons of Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right? Right. There's
Yeah.
tons of Jesus. She should have just gone to Mexico.
I know.
They grow like weeds down there in Mexico. The Jesuses.
Oh, but that's cool. That's an awesome book. We'll have to read that. What's this one? Lake of Fire?
And then Lake of Fire is my latest baby. That's a paranormal thriller, paranormal fiction, and that's a haunted house book. So if you're familiar with the theory of doppelgangers, I did some extensive research on doppelgangers. And so Lake of Fire is basically a haunted house book about an evil doppelganger that takes over this house and tries to take over the spirit of the main character. So that was really fun to research and write. So if you're into haunted house books, pick that one up.
Hey, Todd.
Now I want to write a story about like a group that's like an actual gang of doppelgangers. So it could be like the doppelgangers.
Doppelgang. Oh, I like the play on words there. Yeah. Thanks, Holly.
Holly's read it. Lake of Fire is a great read. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm proud of that one. And I like your whole theory of a gang of doppels.
Yes.
I'm on board with that. Have you written a book, Pickles? You're the only one here.
Have I written a book?
Yeah.
So irony abounds. I personally have not, as I do not have the organizational skills in my brain to make that happen. However, I have the creative ability to do it. So what I do now is I call and I tell MaryLynn my ideas, and then she writes them down for me.
Gotcha.
So I'm actually in the process of what I'm doing is I will write it up as a screenplay because that's how I see it in my mind. And then I will send it to MaryLynn, and she is turning that into a novel for us.
Yep.
Gotcha. So you're utilizing a ghost writer pretty much.
Yes.
But you're right. But not really, because your writer is MaryLynn and she's not a ghost. So
Right.
Gotcha.
So we're collaborating.
That's awesome. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
All right, you ready to watch this video?
Yeah. Cue it up, girl.
I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
Oh, wait, a little bit. What's up, everybody? There it is. It's really quiet.
Battleship New Jersey in New Jersey, and we're here to talk about this awesome piece of equipment. Now, letting all our people know, helicopters weren't originally called helicopters. They're called ornithopters. Before they called ornithopters, they're called hip-hop anonymers. None of those names stuck, so they decided helicopter was a lot easier to say and pronounce for people, so that's kind of what they went for. One of the first things they put that was instrumental for these things to take flight was this blinky light down here. That's how you know, because red means fast. So that's how you know that this is a fast piece of machinery, because the light was on.
I thought red means stop.
And what about Ferraris?
It's on the tail light.
but Ferraris are red.
That's the red color.
And red means fast, right? And you see a red light and you're going through the intersection, what do? You punch it.
I stop.
You
You
should,
punch it.
because it means you gotta go a lot faster,
Okay.
right? So that's what that means. So the other thing here is this incredible nose. Now, what they would do with this nose, like on most aircraft, this is where they would put a lot of the instrumentation, like computers and things like that. However, it's not necessary on a helicopter. So they would actually store this with provisions, MREs, donuts, other types of snack foods, snack-like materials, so you could make your own type of snack foods. Like maybe like uncooked pasta. That way you put a little bit of hot water in, but you need a place to store the uncooked pasta. That would be right in here. And he would tell us, don't push, you'll break off the pasta, right? So that's really important. So we'll come around here, and as he says, please don't touch the aircraft, which I just did. So I broke the law. That's fine. They know me here. I'm very famous. So next, rescue. You'll notice here it says rescue. So what happens a lot of times, the pilots would get stuck inside the helicopter, and nobody could figure out how to get them out. Well, now there's a sign, hey, rescue me here. This is where I'm stuck. Pull the lever, let me out, dude. So that was kind of what that was for. So it's really important. And here's another thing a lot of people don't know. Helicopters also, they drove everywhere. You didn't just fly a helicopter, you drove them. You could drive them on the city streets. That's why the blades go in like this. So you can take them down the road. Maybe you want to go to a McDonald's drive-through. You land, and you still got to go to the drive-through, so they put wheels. See, look, there's wheels. The wheels are so you could continue to drive.
Mike, these are not roadworthy.
Oh, look at that. That's real rubber.
That is real rubber,
That's
but
real
it's not
rubber.
roadworthy.
What do you mean it's not roadworthy? There's 4 wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, 5 wheels. That's 1 more wheel than a car. Right? Wow. Right? The information we're getting today. Incredible. Next is this beware of blasts. So you might immediately think that would have something to do with the engines. It's not. It actually has to do with the methane fuel. So if you got too close, you lit a smoke, it would go up like a fart in an elevator, right? So you had to be careful. It's very important to be careful around these things. So the other thing I want to point out that you might not know is they had to make sure that they knew that this was for the Navy, because there were a bunch of different branches of the military. Unfortunately, the Army folk couldn't read well. Okay, so they had to make sure that it was really big. Okay, really big Navy. Hey, don't get on this one. It's not yours. It's the Navy's. Okay, very important there. Okay. Next, there's a bunch of letters and numbers. That's all gibberish. It meant nothing. They just did that to confuse the enemy, right? They think it was something incredible. It wasn't. The other thing I would really like to point out is this right here. So the reason why they use these incredible colors was their ode to McDonald's, because they would take them through the drive-through, right? So you want to be able to match the colors and say, hey, we belong, okay? We love you guys. Give us a free Big Mac.
So is that how they came to this project?
Yes, it was from this. The arches, so the helicopter could sit between the arches, right? So also they could
What about the red light?
also means fast. In case you weren't looking down, you're looking up. Oh, hey, that thing's going fast. Very important. And now we know. And knowing is half the battle. Go, Joe.
There you go.
I'm just out here educating folks.
The true use of a helicopter defined by Mr. Pickles Propotamus.
And Breed pointed out, yeah, if somebody pushes in, all your foods would fall out in the
Yes.
helicopter. That's and Jason McGray is in the building. Everybody say hello to him
Hello.
Hey, Jason.
and check out his book as well. He's got a fantastic book out.
Nice.
And I'm trying to get him something for his book, which is going to be great.
James, you don't know that he doesn't.
That's right. Yeah, don't make assumptions, sir.
And we have no need to find out. So you can
Right.
just keep that to yourself.
That is very true.
Right.
Let's see here. You would be thinking about Mike, and you know what? You wouldn't be alone. Okay, You wouldn't be alone. Let's see here. It's the snacks that smile back. Yes, that's right. So, Katie,
Michael,
how would one find you?
how would one find me? Well, you can find me on my website, tamerlanemedia.com. It gets the job done. It's a basic website. If anyone's looking to book any energy services with me, they can go on there and book directly on there. If you're on all the social media stuff on Facebook, you could just search for Katie McVay and then Katie McVay Tamerlane Media. I think they're scrolling me up. Yep, thank you. And then I am on Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram, I think, than I'm anywhere else. Po Girl Paranormal, Po Girl Paranormal on Instagram, and Po Girl Paranormal on TikTok. So there you have it. Yeah.
So what's the Po connection?
The Po connection. Well, I don't know. People ask me about Po and they say, how do you get into Po? And I don't have a good answer. And I think, honestly, it might go back to like a past life thing. I don't know if I had some kind of past life with him or something. I just really identify with him. And I was introduced to him from a very young age in grade school, reading The Raven for the very first time. And I was like, holy crap, what is this? This is the most amazing poem I've ever read. And I've been fascinated and borderline obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe ever since. And I identify with him more now as an adult than I did as an adolescent when I was originally introduced to him.
Really?
Yeah, just because he kind of did his own thing. He's a bit of a lone wolf. He didn't always fit in. And, I think a lot of people identify with that. I know I do. I get along with a lot of people and I know a lot of people and I'm friends with a lot of people. But at the end of the day, I still feel like I'm doing my own thing and I don't always fit in, with the popular cliques, and that can be lonely and isolating. So I definitely identify with that in him. And he had this creative streak that just, if he didn't get it out, it just bothered the crap out of him. So I can identify with that. Any creative people, I know you identify with that. There's just the urge to create is a need. You know,
can get depressed if you don't actually do it.
Yes, you can get depressed if you're a writer, a painter, a podcaster, even you guys doing this. I'm sure you might get twitchy if you don't do this every week, or if you have to take a break, you're like, I have to get back to podcasting.
Yep.
It's just this urge to create and to put yourself out into the world.
I'm a creative person to begin with, so.
Yep.
You are. I know both of you are very creative, and I love that about you guys.
Well, see, that's my connection.
Okay.
Well, my connection is with Mark Twain.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's actually my fifth great uncle, but there's just that. Yeah, there's a connection there for me.
So you're like,
call him Mark Twizzle.
Mark Twizzle. So you're actually related to him.
Yes.
Have you been to his house in Hartford, Connecticut?
Not to the house, but I did go to the printing press. It's actually in Virginia City. It's where he started working at the newsletter.
Get out.
Mm-hmm.
I have to get out there. I've been seeing so many things. I know you guys have been out to Virginia City. I saw you guys did a little snippet for a beacon on there, and I watched that. And so many people have been talking about Virginia City. I have to get out there.
You have to go. It's
one
of our finale, in fact.
What's that?
That Virginia City is our season finale. That's how awesome it is.
Yep.
Okay. Well, hey Josh, we're all going to tune into.
Oh, hey Josh.
To that.
Do you want me to tell you who I'm related to?
Who are you related to, Pickles?
Nobody cares. No.
Nobody famous.
Do you want to know what my name means? Galliano?
Remind me, because I remember watching this in another podcast you're on, but please remind everybody what Galliano stands for.
Yes. So for those who may be new to the whole surname thing, a surname came about because there were so many people by the first name that they had to find a way to differentiate people. So they did that originally based on what you did or what you knew. For example, a smith was a blacksmith. If your last name was shoemaker, you were probably a shoemaker. If your last name was cobbler, you were probably a cobbler. So they, that was kind of how they formed your name, your surname.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Galliano, which
And-
translates, and I still have the paperwork somewhere. It translates into the one who lives near chickens.
The one who lives near chickens.
Yes.
Okay.
Basically meaning my family had absolutely no discernible skill at all. In fact, I can see the census people coming by. They knock on the door, I say, hey, we're giving everybody surnames. Where do you work right now? Well, I'm kind of between jobs right now. Okay, that's fine. No worries. Okay, well, what were you trying to get a job as? Whoever will take me. Okay, well, did you have like a something that you're just really good at? Not really. I've pretty much been fired from most of my jobs, so I can't really say that I'm really good at anything. Okay. You're making this hard on me, pal, but okay. Oh, I see back there, looks like you got some chickens. Are you raising those? No, those aren't mine. No, they were here when I moved in. I don't know whose those are. Okay. So you just live here? You're just I just moved in. It's a nice place. But those aren't your chickens. Nope. Mm-mm. Okay, well, I guess you just live near them then. Yeah, pretty much. That sounds good. Okay, well, that works for us. That's all the questions we have. Thank you for your time.
Wow.
That's it. One who lives near chickens.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess there could be worse surnames, like, the people who live near shit, or, there could be some things worse than living near chickens.
There
Right?
could be.
There could
But
be.
I'd like to point out to all the people out there who wish they were like related to royalty. Not
Right.
everybody's royalty, hon. Okay?
No.
I'm here to tell you right now, somebody has to live near the chickens. And it was me.
Right.
Okay.
That's cool. My surname means absolutely nothing either, McVay. And
Really?
my surname got bastardized, because my family came in through Ellis Island, like a lot of the Irish did. And I'm actually Scotch-Irish, and I don't even know what the hell it means.
I'm Scott-Irish too.
Are you?
wow.
Bast is Scotch-Irish?
Well, no, that's my married name.
That's right.
So my birth name
Yes.
is Smith.
Galliano was
because
Italian.
my dad was adopted into the Smith family, but originally a McCoy of the
McCoy.
Hatfield and McCoys.
Hatfield and McCoys, yes.
Yes, the McCoy side.
Cool. Nice.
And then Ulysses S. Grant is my great grandfather.
Gotcha.
Down the line somewhere.
Okay. And from what I know, MaryLynn, all Mix used to be Max, M-A-C.
Yep.
And then somewhere along the line, all the Max got bastardized to become Mix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there are still Max out there, like James McAvoy. He's a famous actor.
Yep.
His name is McAvoy. So his name, yeah. So it's interesting. So I don't think my family lived near chickens. Maybe they live near sheep or cows. Maybe since I was Irish. I don't know. So you and I may be in the same boat, Michael.
We really could be, and it's one of those things where yes, I'm Italian, Palermo, Sicilian, and not I guess. So not only this is the best part. So not only do I not have anybody significant in my family lineage, not only does my name have no significant value, there has been nothing significant that has happened on my birthday.
Oh, nothing.
So,
okay. Yes.
Other than obviously my birth, right?
But nothing significant happened. But are you the type that looks up to see what other famous people are born on the same day as you? I know you've done that. Everybody does that. Yes.
Really?
Yes. So on top of that, I did decide to look at what famous event had happened on my birthday. It took me all the way back to like the early 1900s, like 1900s, when a school teacher in England went like completely postal and killed like 20 kids.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, so some people get all the riches when it comes to their family lineage, and if so, enjoy it and know that for every person, for every prince, somebody has to be a pauper.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
And or a serial killer. So
also, you're welcome. I am. All my family's from Wisconsin, and I am a Sagittarius. And for those who don't know, Ed Gein, Wisconsin. John Wayne Gacy, Wisconsin. Jeffrey Dahmer, Wisconsin.
Okay, there's something to that.
I think 2 out of those 3 were actually either were Sagittarius.
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. See, that's what you should write a book about, right? That would be easy for you to research since you already have a lot of that knowledge, right? Who knows? I have that's interesting. Well, I would read that book. So all the Irish people in the chat, yay.
Right?
Yay. Yeah.
So Lil Baby, the rapper, has the same birthday as you.
See?
I said famous people.
Little Baby. I've never heard of Little Baby.
Me neither.
Nobody has.
I live under a music rock. I don't know. Little Baby.
I am a order of that pizza.
Nice. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, now that would be fun, right?
That could be fun. That would sell well, I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah. Is it made by serial killers, or it's a book of serial killers?
I would say about serial killers.
You could have like John Wayne Gacy dressed up as a clown.
Okay, and
you have a lot of red in it.
You could have like Jeffrey Dahmer holding like severed wieners.
Yeah.
In his hands. Ted Bundy, looking all handsome, breaking out of jail. Ed Gein. He could be trying on some like skin pants,
right?
With a skin lampshade on his head, maybe. I don't know.
That's scary, but I would buy and totally color in that book, and I would take joy in it. So maybe on
go wrong.
Yeah.
We may take Josh's idea and collaborate on it.
Pair with a normal coloring book of serial killers. There you go. Oh, and by the way, there is on Beacon TV, a quick little plug, the Manson. Not that he wasn't exactly a serial killer, but there is a documentary about him. If anyone's interested. Speaking of serial killers.
Music.
Yeah, music of Manson or something like that. I watched that one last week. That's amazing. Who knew?
Right.
He had humble beginnings as a wannabe musician. That's pretty badass. So.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you need to hop onto the Beacon TV and watch something other than your own damn show, Pickles.
Right.
And no, I'm just kidding.
Gotta promote.
Right.
Streambeacontv.com.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Use code Paranorm 10.
Yeah. Oh, and I have a bone to pick with you guys. So when did your podcast switch from pair with a normal to pair with an abnormal? Because I saw that and I'm like, when did that happen and how did that happen?
About 2 months ago.
Wow, that long ago.
It was Sidekicks Paranormal, and then we had Pair with a Normal show, and trying to explain that to folk became so technically difficult that we just were like, let's just kind of blend them together. So we turned it into Pair with an Abnormal, the Pair with a Normal podcast.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of where that came about. And that was literally within the last month and a half.
Yeah, almost 2 months.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I did notice that Sidekicks thing kind of faded out of public, so.
It's still there because we're considered the Sidekick Paranormal team.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's still there in the background because we got the website and everything's based on it. So we just kind of expanded. And so Pair with the Normal is and pair it with an abnormal is where we're going with it. So
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Serial Killer Culture is out now on Stream Beacon, so we'll have to check that out.
Yes. Yeah, I
And
did see that. I
episode
gotta watch
two.
that. Yeah.
And you said you've already watched it? You already watched episode 2?
I watched episode 2 right before I logged on. So I saw you guys at Yorktown. I saw you whip out your little dowsing rods.
Yes.
Yeah. So I saw you do that. And yeah, that makes me want to go to, I spend so much time on the East Coast. I've been up and down the East Coast a million times. So I need to expand my horizons in 2025. So I'm going to get out to the Midwest a little bit more next year. I want to get down to the Texas area and the South.
you come to Texas, let me know, because that's where I'm at.
Yes, I know. What part of Texas are you? Where are you?
Dallas, Fort Worth. I'm south of Fort Worth.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
About
you may.
2.5 hours from San Antonio.
Gotcha. I need to get to that part. I've laid over in Houston on route somewhere else, but I've laid over in El Paso, farther west. I have been to Texas. I've been to El Paso and up into New Mexico, and but I haven't been to Eastern Texas, of all things. I've been to Western Texas and El Paso before I've been to Eastern Texas. What the hell's wrong with me?
Right.
And Roswell. I made a trip to Roswell. Anyone interested in UFOs? And what's going on with UFOs? I'm seeing UFOs all over Facebook. What did I miss?
Don't know, but that was our next adventure. We want to get into, go investigate aliens.
Yeah,
Yes.
You need to do that. You've been squatching now, so you've been ghost hunting. You did a squatching thing, right?
Yes.
You did.
Yeah. Now you need to go get anally probed, Pickles.
That's what he's looking for.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know. He's looking for a deep probing. I know.
I'm ready. I'm ready. You're not going to scare me off, aliens.
No, you actually seem a little bit too excited about that. So I'm a little concerned. It's all good.
Fair.
Yeah, fair. But
I just hope they have a cafeteria.
what's that?
I said, I just hope they have a cafeteria.
They will have plenty of trust me, there will be plenty of snacks. Whatever planet you end up on before they probe you, they will feed you snacks out the ass. So no pun intended.
Yes.
So you're good. You're good.
Do you remember the name of that inn that we stayed at, that you guys had to stay at, that had like the wheel, I wish you could remember. It was near McConnellsville that we stayed in. Can you figure out what the name of that was?
Are you talking to
wife-
me or to Katie?
No, Stevie. His wife had recommended to us.
I was
and
like,
it
who the hell's he talking to?
Oh yeah, for a Stevie, where we was it an inn or was it his somebody's house?
No, not even there. This was the very first gold rush that we did. I actually rented out the entire building.
Okay.
And it was, that place was crazy. Definitely a lot of activity and a lot of fun. And it's like right off of a river, and it's got like one of those wheels, like a river wheel.
Okay.
What an incredible place, but I don't remember what it was.
That's the problem when you start traveling around the country so much. It's kind of a shame.
Yep.
You've been to so many places, they all start to blend together, and then you feel bad. You're like, wait, where the hell was that? Where was that? Yeah, it's terrible, but yeah.
So
It's a
Bree,
good
when you
problem.
come to Texas, just let me know and we'll get together.
Heck yeah. And have you ever been to Wisconsin?
Me? No, I'm going to Wisconsin for the first time. I'm sponsoring the Paranormal Rockdown at Broadhead.
We are.
Yep.
Broadhead, yeah.
So I'm sponsoring that event, and that's going to be my first time in Wisconsin. And like I said, I've made a goal to. I've been into the Midwest. I've been to Fort Wayne, Indiana. I've been into Ohio a bunch of times, but I haven't been too much in other places in the Midwest. So yeah, I am going to Wisconsin for my first time, your homeland, Mr. Pickles. So I'm excited, and I think you guys are going to be there. So I'm going to see you guys there. If I don't see you before, I'll see you
It's gonna
before.
be awesome.
See you before. Yeah,
gonna
so I'm
be
excited about that. Yeah. So no, first time in Wisconsin, and I'm glad it's in July. Let me tell you, because
I
I'm used to
cannot do
cold.
cold.
No, I mean I'm used to cold weather in Philly. We get cold and snow, and we're right on the Atlantic Ocean, so we get the ocean effect snow, and it's terrible. But I've heard those Midwest winters are even more brutal. So
Yeah, they're heinous.
yeah. So I'm glad it's in July. So
All right,
yeah.
folks. Well, we've gone an hour and 45 minutes somehow.
Ooh,
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, that was awesome though.
good conversations.
Yes.
Great conversations with Katie McVay, Tamerlane Media. Please look her up. Come to her event on April 26th
April 26th.
at the USS North Carolina. We'll put
Yeah.
information up on our website, on our Facebook page, on our Instagram page, and it'll obviously also be on hers. So please feel free to check that out. And Miss MaryLynn, why don't you play us out?
Let me get back to it. I had it queued up.
And she left.
Did it again.